6 years. 6 years of my life has been dedicated to making dumb videos on YT. 6 years. I feel old now. I mean, I already felt old when I was told that Series 7 of Doctor Who started airing 10 years ago, and that's when I started watching live, but, yeah. As I said, I didn't have time to do like a 6-year anniversary like special video, so instead, I'm just doing a Q&A. Hope you guys don't mind, but you guys left some Q's, I got some A's, let's go. God, I hate when people do that. Just cut the scene. If you could go back in time and save 21 Doctor episodes, what would they be? Right, so before I start, I'll just say that the episodes I'll tend to prioritize are usually like the character-centric ones, so like companion, introductions, and departures, because I just think they're like the important ones which should stay. Also, I made sure that every serial which has all of its parts missing, I will recover at least one episode from it. Anyway, so I'll just do it in chronological order. So first off, Marco Polo, I'm actually going to say 3 parts, 1, 2, and 7. And the reason for that is because, well, I just like them. Like, at the bare minimum, I was going to save 1 episode, but I adore Marco Polo, so I thought, why not? So I got 3 parts, so yeah, I just got them. I especially prioritized part 2 because it has like a great moment between Barbara and Susan. But yeah. Then I got the missing episodes of The Crusade. Now the reason I did this, like I'm not overly fussed on The Crusade. However, I did this just so we could have at least one 60 season fully completed. And it was always annoying me that just, 2 episodes from that season, are incomplete. And now they'll probably not be animated because of the fact that they're just a Telesnap Recon and the collection set. So I thought I'd get them too. Then I decided to get Missions to the Unknown. Now, I was contemplating not getting it as I'm really happy with the Ukraine recreation. But it would be nice for such a unique story to, like, exist in the archive. Then we can preserve things like Edward de Souza's performance. So yeah, I probably would get Mission to the Unknown, and then following on from that, I'll get part 4 of the Mythmakers just so we can have 1 part surviving from the story, and also it shows Vicky's exit despite how terrible it is, but it'd be nice to get her exit in full. Then Dalek's Master Plan, obviously 3 episodes already survive in the archive, but I also want to get episodes 4 and 12 because they're the significant ones which feature both of the companion deaths and are like really emotional and impactful, and it'll be nice to have them preserved in the archive and everything. And you never know, Dalek Master Plan 4 may exist because of the Blue Peter stuff, but who knows. Then I'm going to get the Massacre Part 4 for 2 reasons. 1, Dodo's introduction, and 2, that speech by Hartnell at the end of the story. That's the scene from a missing episode I want recovered the most. So yeah, definitely prioritizing the Massacre Part 4. Then Savages Part 4, make sure there's 1 episode surviving from the story and Stephen's exit, the usual. Smugglers Part 1, I just wanted a story from, the Smugglers, and I just went with Part 1 because Ben and Polly's first trip in the TARDIS, but that's basically the only reason I went with it. 10th Planet Part 4, because it is incredibly important, and I wish it survived so we could see Hartnell's final performance. And conversely, Power of the Daleks Part 1, so we could see Troughton's first scene, and it's such a significant episode, and I'm still, annoyed that the BBC junked them. I also decided to get Power of the Daleks Part 6, just because it's a really cool Dalek action episode, and it'd be nice to get more of, Troughton's first story. Then, Highlanders Part 4, because, it's the introduction, well, the Highlanders is the introduction of Jamie, and I went with Part 4 just because that's when he enters the TARDIS and everything. And then I went for the Macra Terror. I just picked one, so I went with Part 1 because it's got, great atmosphere. It also has the rough and tumble scene, which wasn't included in the animation, so yeah. And also, it has limited usage of the Macra, and I think it's fair to say that if the Macra Terror was recovered, we'd be a bit disappointed because from what we've seen, the Macra props look shite. So it'd be nice to just get the story where it isn't hindered too much by a bad-looking prop. And then I also got the Faceless ones, Part 6. Even though 2 episodes already survived, it would just be nice to see Ben and Polly's goodbye. Evil of the Daleks, Part 7, just for, so Victoria entering the TARDIS, and also so we can actually see the final end. Like, the animation looks great, but it would be great to see what it originally looked like. Then I went for the Web of Fear Part 3, just because it annoys me. Like, it annoys me that, that is missing, and then we have a terrible animation, and it'll be just. Also, it's the Briggs' first appearance, so it's a significant episode, and it just annoys me that it was stolen. Then Fury from the Deep Part 6 for Victoria's beautiful goodbye. And yeah, that's about it. That's 21 episodes. You've been listening to a lot of Big Finish. Any other Doctor Who branches you would like to explore? Not really. I was never really fussed on like the books and the comics and stuff because they take longer to get through and I'm a bit of a slow reader and I'm just lazy. Like listening to a Big Finish story, it takes like 2.5 hours tops, like on average, but a book it could take varying amount of time. So I just can't be bothered. Pick a classic Doctor and a modern Doctor to form a trio with yourself. Well, classic Doctor, Troughton. He's always been the Doctor I'd be like most the classic Doctor I'd be most comfortable to travel with because of how like bumbling and happy he seems. And for a modern Doctor, I was going to go with Smith, but maybe there should be someone to like counteract, the bumbling personality of Troughton. So I'm going to go with Tennant because, like it's not like he'll get annoyed by Troughton, but, he's like a bit more straight. And I just realised that's my two favourite Doctors. Thing you're most excited about for the 60th anniversary? Neil Patrick Harris. I love him as an actor. And when I found out he was in the 60th, I was so happy. I was really happy. And the fact that he's going to be potentially playing the Toymaker, just yes. Yes on all fronts. So yeah, Neil Patrick Harris, easily. After listening to Big Finish, have your views on a certain Doctors changed, mainly McGann? Oh yeah. I mean, like the main 4 Doctors I've listened to is 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 5, Davison, I'm sorry, my opinions have kind of stayed the same. I'm not too big on him in Big Finish. But everyone else, yeah. Actually no. McCoy, he's kind of the same. Like, I love him on TV, and I love him on Big Finish, but I don't think there's really any change. He's just brilliant in both. McGann, obviously, I'll love him more because he just has more stories and, good stories and everything to develop his character. So, McGann's an obvious one. But Colin Baker, I loved him on TV. I adored him on Big Finish. Like, his dynamic with Evelyn especially is just pitch perfect. And honestly, he's slowly becoming my favourite of the 80s Doctors. Love you, Colin. Are there any films you refuse to watch until you're 18? Oh yeah, like, it's a lot of the really hard-hitting and depressing films. So things like Schindler's List, Grave of the Fireflies. I don't really fancy watching them at this age. I mean, When the Wind Blows was bad enough, but yeah, I don't think I could cope with all that at this age. And also probably the Godfather duology. Yes, duology. I'm not bothering with the third one. Because, well, they're raved so much, and I worry that I won't be able to, like, fully understand them at, this age. But, yeah, when I'm 18, then, yeah, I'll watch them. But, some other ones which I thought I would, I should wait for, I've decided against. Like, Shawshank Redemption, I am going to watch that because I've heard from people that, you can watch it at 16, you'll be fine with it. So, yeah, I'll be fine. What are some underrated Doctor Who stories? Well, the one I always go to is The Power of Three. People hate that story because of the rushed ending. And I'm just like, that's like 5 minutes of the story. What about the rest? What about 90% of the story? Like, what's wrong with that? It's fun. It's really interesting to see the Doctor hanging out with Amy Rowan just trying to be normal. I think it's a great story. As for Classic Who, I feel like a lot of the missing pure historicals are quite underrated because, like, no one talks about them and a lot of people find them kind of boring. And to be fair, watching the pure historicals on the reconstruction isn't the easiest thing to do and it can seem a bit of a drag, but I promise you that if some stories like the Myth Makers and the Smugglers get animated, they will be appreciated a lot more, and I do actually really like those stories. A film you'd love to watch soon. Memento. I love Inside Number 9 Once Removed. I want to watch Memento. Also, I love Christopher Nolan, so yeah, I know it'll be good. I want to watch Memento soon, hoping to watch it next week. What were some of the first plushies you got? Me. I was one of the first as well. Were there any films this year that you really enjoyed? Well, I did mention it in my last Q&A, and my favourite films haven't changed at all. Like, my favourite film I've seen this year is still Shaun of the Dead, and my favourite film I saw for the first time this year is still Parasite. So, yeah, that hasn't changed. But I'll go through some other films which I loved. Trainspotting, that's my second favourite new film I've seen. My God, that's a fantastic film. Hilarious, it's hilarious, but also really like bleak and dark. But it is really, really good. If you can understand Scottish accents, definitely watch it. I'll also just go over some other films which I love. I rewatched a lot of the Pixar films like The Incredibles and Ratatouille, and they're still fantastic. Alongside rewatching Shaun of the Dead, I rewatched the rest of the Cornetto trilogy, so Hot Fuzz and The World's End, and they're still both masterpieces. The World's End is a masterpiece. Give it another chance, I beg you. Anyway, there were also some Christopher Nolan films. I mentioned him before, but I watched a couple of Christopher Nolan films, and he's a fantastic director. So things like Interstellar, The Dark Knight, Inception, they're all phenomenal. And there were even some like really hard-hitting emotional films which I love, like When the Wind Blows. And also, I've been watching the Bond films this year, and even though I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, The Spy Who Loved Me is definitely my favourite so far. It's fantastic. And those were all the questions. Phew. So, that was the Q&A for 6-year anniversary. Now, because this video isn't the longest, I'm going to take the rest of the time to just talk about a little update coming to the channel. So, let's just start forefront. The 8th Doctor review series, I'm cancelling that. Thing is, I was scripting part 2, and I just kept thinking to myself, this is just a rip-off of Stu Bagful, and it just felt really uninspired. And I look back on the previous videos, and yeah, they're just Stu Bagful rip-offs. I don't want to keep a series going if I know it's just a rip-off. So, yeah, I haven't listed the videos. If you want to watch them, they're in the link in the description. But yeah, I've stopped them. So yeah, that's one series gone. And second, there's not going to be many big videos over next year, because I mentioned before, but there's a big series I'm working on, and it's taking a lot longer than I anticipated. So there'll only be a couple of big videos you can really expect. Like, one of them will be the 2022 film ranking. I'll definitely be doing that. As well as when Number 9 Series 8 comes out, if that comes out next year, I'll be doing a ranking of all the episodes there. And plush videos. Yeah, basically the only the only consistent videos you'll be seeing over the next year will be a load of plush videos, like the Mario Bowser plush universe, because they're quite fun to make. And also, Halloween time, I've got another plush video planned. It's unrelated to the plush universe, it's its own standalone thing, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying planning it out and everything, and it could be one of the best videos I've made. But yeah, there's the update there. And also, I might as well mention this as well. The Number 9 Actors video, I'll try to do it, but I can't promise it'll be coming anytime soon. But I'm not cancelling that. It just takes a long time to do. But yeah, that's the update on my channel and how there'll probably be less content. Basically, at points, I'll only be uploading to please the algorithm so the views don't go down the toilet. And that was the Q&A, mixed in with a little bit of a channel update to celebrate 6 years of the Mario Bowser YouTube channel. Yeah, it's 6 years. 6 years takes it out of you. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Bye!